Etrack can be used to put together your portfolio of evidence in a digital format. It used to be portfolios of evidence were put together using a folder where you'd print out your evidence and then you'd slot it into the right section of your folder. Now we've got this digital system which is more sophisticated because, well, first of all, we can use different file types. Your evidence might not necessarily be a Word document, it could be an image file, it could be a voice recording or an audio recording, it could be a video. There's lots of different types of files which can be added to your portfolio. And this allows us to upload digital formats effectively. And it also allows you to access your portfolio remotely on the go, so you don't have to carry a folder about with you. So in this video, I'm going to explain how you'd add some evidence onto your portfolio. So first of all, what is evidence? So remember, evidence is a file. Most of the time it probably will be a Word document, but it could be something else. But it's a file which has evidence which proves that you can perform certain tasks in the workplace to a competent level. When you submit evidence on Etrack, it doesn't go straight into your portfolio. It will first of all be sent to your assessor, and your assessor can then make an assessment decision. Is that evidence to the right standard? Is there enough detail in the evidence for them to make that assessment decision? Is it clear that that is your work? So these are the sorts of things that they look at, and then make an assessment decision, and either way they provide you with feedback. So they either say there's some revision that needs to happen here because for some reason, and they'll explain the reasons, it doesn't or it can't be uploaded yet, or they'll say this evidence is really good, here's the reasons why it's good, and it's getting added to your portfolio, in which case they'll then accept it and that can be added to your portfolio. So when you submit evidence onto Etrack, don't expect it to appear straight away. Your assessor has to view it first and approve it before it gets added to your portfolio. So to upload evidence, what you'd do is you'd select the Submit Evidence button. So that is the orange button on the home page on Etrack. It's a wee plus symbol, says evidence on it. Click on that. You then want to select the file. So you click Select, and you want to pick your file. So the file we're going to upload here is this one. It says Jack Hall-PRS-Alpha Project Planning Schedule. And that is the best practice when it comes to naming a file. You want to start off with your name. Then you want to indicate which assessment method is being used. So PRS stands for Personal Reflective Statement. And then you want to say the name of the task which you are completing. So you just want to pick an appropriate name for that file. This will make it a lot easier later on when you look at your portfolio for you to find certain files. It's just a lot clearer if you have a good naming structure. So you'd want to select that file, select Choose, and it will then upload the file. You may find that some file types aren't accepted by Etrack and you get an error message. This is a Word document, so it does get accepted. One of the common examples would be an email. So say you gather some witness testimony, some written witness testimony, and it's in an email. You can go to Outlook, you can drag that email onto your desktop, and then you can upload it as evidence onto Etrack. But because it's .msg, it won't upload onto Etrack because Etrack doesn't recognise that file type. So the way around it is to zip the file or compress the file. So what you do is, if it's a Windows computer, you can click Select, you can right click on it. You want to select the option that says Send to. It'll open up a submenu and you want to click Zipped Folder. Once you select that, a little folder with a zip will appear and you can then select that. The file type is .zip. If it's a Mac system, an Apple computer that you're running, you can still do the same thing. You can't do it from this view though. You have to go into your files, find the file, right click on it, and the option you're looking for, it says compress and then the name of the file. Select that. That will create this little zip symbol. You can select that, click Choose, and no matter what the file type is, it will upload it successfully. Then you select Next, and it's asking you here if you want to map the evidence. What this means is you're saying this document, this file, this evidence which I'm uploading, this proves that I am competent at performing these points in my units or framework. So this is how you indicate which of your particular performance criteria, assessment criteria, knowledge, skills and behaviours which you are demonstrating within the evidence which you are uploading. I would always select yes here and make an attempt to map your evidence. Now, please bear in mind that if this is the first couple of times you're uploading evidence, you won't be as confident with it, you'll not be as familiar with the points which you're going to cover. So don't overthink this too much. Remember, this will go to your assessor first of all, and they'll review it, and they can untick things that you've ticked, and they can identify things which you might have missed and tick those. This is just particularly at the start to give your assessor an idea of where you feel this evidence falls into, which units it gets mapped against. So it can be wrong, but don't get too concerned about that. Give it an attempt anyway. So select on the first drop down. This portfolio's only got the one, but you might have a couple of options here. And then select on your unit. So this task is planning schedule. So have a read at your unit names and try and pick what unit you think it'll go into. You're probably planned out already, so you probably have a bit of an awareness of where this evidence is going to go. So in here, we'll select Unit 3, Project Planning and Scheduling, and you'll then have a list of all the criteria which is in that unit, and then you'll also have a box which you can tick. So you'd want to go through, read the criteria and say, okay, I think this document covers this point, and then you'd tick the box that's next to it. Okay. So let's say in this evidence, it shows that I have identified resources estimates, checked availability, checked it against the remit, and developed a project management plan. And I've also covered some knowledge, which includes a bit about the project life cycle and the project planning methodologies which I've used. Okay. Again, if you're not doing project management, don't get too concerned about the wording here if it doesn't make sense. All you really need to know is you'd go through here and you'd tick the box next to the criteria which you think the document covers. You can then select on different units, and if you wish you can start to tick other units as well. It will still remember what you've ticked. So once you've mapped it, click next. If you want to leave a comment, select yes, and you can give some form of annotation. This won't get added to your evidence, but it's just a message to your assessor to give them a bit of an idea. They may have a long list of evidence which they're going through, and it could be helpful for you just to say, well, I wasn't sure about this, what do you think about this? You know, a bit of any of your thoughts or comments you want to add when you're sending the evidence through. So leave a comment and then select next. This brings us on to the last page. Gives you a summary and shows you all of the objectives that you have mapped this evidence against for you to check. It is key at this stage that you copy the name of the file which you've uploaded, and it's in this sort of greyed box here, and paste it into both message subject and attachment file name. This is important because if not, when you go to look at your evidence, when you go to look at your portfolio, it'll come up, it'll only have a list of this sort of generic title here, so you won't really know what that file is, and it'll take you longer to find things because you'll have to select on the file, download it, open the file up to actually see what that evidence is. Whereas if you paste this in here, it'll be very clear, so you don't have to open it to see what that file is in your portfolio. And that's it really. You just click finish, and that would then send that file on to your assessor to review.